Greetings, everybody. It is the 17th of September, 2025. I'm Jeff Foliage, and this is episode 7 of As the Foliage Turns. Today's discussions are going to be a short little bit on drought. Pretty much, I beat you to death with it. Our travels into the Northeast Kingdom yesterday on the 16th, and reports that I've received from different places in New England. And finally, we'll end up with the good news, I think, of what are the chances for good drives this weekend. Where are your best chances? Okay, so I'll keep this short. The drought, it hasn't gotten any better. The report doesn't come out till tomorrow, but I'm sure it's going to show, the extreme area that's around my area here in the northwestern White Mountains is not gotten any better. So we'll see what happens with that. There's not much we can do about it. Even if we got rain, light rain saturating the ground for the next 3 days, it's not going to fix anything. The trees are going to do what the trees are going to do. So we're just going to have to react with it and try and stay positive. Set your expectations that it's going to be some driving around to do. Okay. I'll try and post the report when it comes out tomorrow. I'll try at some point tomorrow to get it up on my Facebook page. New England Fall Foliage is my Facebook foliage page. Now, yesterday we took off out of here and we headed west on both 25C and 25A. You may be wondering, how do you go out on both roads? Well, there are dirt roads that cross over, and you know me, the second I see one that Lisa says, well, that crosses over to 25A or back to 25C, and it's like, we crossed over a couple times, and it got to the point where she was like, we're never going to get out of New Hampshire if you don't just go. So we did. And we got over to Route 5 in Vermont, and we headed north on Route 5. Route 5 runs right along the Connecticut River, and that area always turns late. It's no different now. There's very little color. We got into Newbury, Vermont, stopped at the Newbury Village store. Great little place, by the way. Get a sandwich, some treats. They have places to sit down inside. They only got a porta potty outside. So, watch. If you need to go, that might not be effective for you. But if you grab a sandwich, they got some picnic tables and stuff out back, and a killer view down the valley. I definitely think if you are in that area of Newbury, Vermont, stop at the village store and then grab something to eat. If the weather is pretty decent like it was yesterday, it's been wonderful. Today, mostly blue skies with some puffy white clouds, and I don't really much need this vest anymore. So it's going to be like that for, unfortunately, the foreseeable future, at least another week or so. We continued up Route 5, headed up towards St. Johnsbury. Colors got a little better, not much in that area. And then we stopped in Lyndonville. There's a park in there right along the road, Route 5, and we just pulled over, pulled out a couple sandwiches that we picked up back in Newbury, and just watch the traffic go by, watch the people walking around. And I'll show you a couple videos right now. Okay, now as you can see, there's a glorious orange tree right there in the park, right in front of me. I sat down next to it and I was like, wow. And then if I turn my head the other way, there is another glorious orange tree, which was 90% bare, all in the same park. It was no less pretty, but it would have been nice if both of them had been the same. But that's the way of the fall colors. It never works out the way we would like it to sometimes. And, and that's the way I want you to consider your trips up here this fall. It's going to be like that. One glorious tree or a bunch of glorious trees and some bare trees over here, and you're just going to have to focus on where you've got some really beautiful trees. Okay, we continued up until we got to where 114 switches off of Route 5, and we continued up that way, continuing further north. And this got to be a long day. I think we hit about 225 miles, and that's a pretty good jaunt considering I'm already up here. Okay, we went through Island Pond, and Island Pond is, a nice little town. It's right on the lake, and so there's a lot of opportunities for doing things. You can go kayaking, you can go exploring, but there wasn't a whole lot of color, not yet. Little hints here and there, still not really great. But again, you're next to that's a pretty sizable lake, so anytime you're near a body of water, I want you to remember that unless it's later, that you're not going to get the colors early, because near bodies of water like Lake Champlain, Lake Winnipesaukee, the colors come later. Okay, so we continued on east out of there, and we stopped at the Stone Dam, which is near the Silvio Oconte Wildlife Management Area. You'll see a couple videos here. Hey everybody, Jeff Foliage, and a quick on-the-spot report. I'm up on Route 105 east of Island Pond, Vermont, and I'll turn this around so you can see this is the Silvia Oconte Wildlife Management Area, and we got a little water in the stream here, not a lot up here though. Drought like everywhere else, but there is some color on those hills. So if you come all the way up towards the Canadian border, it's only about 25 miles the other side of me. It gives you an idea. Have a great day. And now that you've seen the videos, you can see, there's some really pretty real estate up here. And, we sat there at a little viewing stand right at the Stone Dam, which seems to be new in the last few years. The roadside color, obviously, is getting much prettier. That one stretch goes into the wildlife management area, and it's probably going to be bare within 2 weeks. By the 1st of October, don't go looking for it. And for any of you who go, oh, that's fake, look at all that, how red that is. I didn't touch it, and I should have, because it was much brighter than that. It was iridescent reds going in there. It always is like that, and I think anybody who's been through there knows that that is what it actually looks like. It's quite pretty, the reds, and of course I love my reds. I think we all do. But okay, so we picked up 105 continuing east, and we then picked up Route 102 heading south, and that allowed me to stop at the Guildhall Grist Mill, which is on Granby Road off of Route 102. show a picture or two here. And then, but as you can see, the colors, it usually comes later. You know, on a good year, 6 to 10, 6 to 8, 6 to 10 usually peak around this area, and it all depends on how things are going. So I think we're going to find out that it may be a bit earlier, maybe around the 1st of October. We may see some really nice colors here. But I was hoping to get a reflection in the pond. There is no pond. There's cattails, as you can see. The pond is dried up, and hopefully it refills. And I don't know what that'll do to the cattails. It may drown them. They may enjoy it. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. As we were coming down, we came down to Lancaster, crossed over into New Hampshire, and then we took Route 3 south, heading towards home. And I thought I was going to stop at Weeks State Park, which is right off of Route 3 there. And if you are in the area and want to go up, it's a free entrance. You drive all the way up. There's lots of parking and beautiful views, but it's only open Wednesday through Sunday. And I was there on Tuesday with Lisa, so we didn't get to take a look and see what it looked like. So so here's some of the reports that I've been getting. You just had all my reports for my travels yesterday on the 16th. John Burke down in Massachusetts says the North Quabbin and Northern Pioneer Valley not looking really good, even though it's in the white for the most part. The drought isn't really affecting it, but it got a ton of rain just week after week, staying wet, and the leaves don't appreciate that. There's a lot of brown and down. It's probably worth it to take a ride along Route 2, the Mohawk Trail, and see what it looks like. I think by the 1st of October, we should see some pretty interesting colors down that way. Whether or not it's going to be peak or anything like that, remember that I said before, peak is not anywhere in the books right now for the next week or two. I don't expect to see it, and I'll probably repeat that a few times. He feels that the yellows will end early because the birches and the beech are having issues. The birch trees don't like drought, and they don't like too much rain. They like it real balanced. There's a beech leaf disease that Jim Salge has been reporting on over at Yankee Magazine. You might go over there and check what he says about it, but it's affecting a good swath of the yellows out there. White Mountain area. Chris Whitten at White Mountain Images he took a walk out yesterday or maybe Monday to Pondicherry, and Cherry Pond is looking very, very pretty as always. It never looks bad, and it's very. I'll post a picture maybe of his, and the big thing to remember about going out there, it's a mile and a half out from where you park in the little parking lot off of I think it's Route 15, all the way out 1.5 miles, straight shot, very flat, kind of a packed gravel roadbed. I think if I had a bicycle, I'd do better. Lisa and I walked out there last year, and that kicked my butt. A mile and a half, it doesn't seem like it's that much. If I get old, that's what this gray means. So remember, it's just a mile and a half out and a mile and a half back. So it's a 3-mile round trip. There's a nice sitting area out there, a little viewing stand that looks out over the water. I recommend it. But it's just starting to show the first signs of color on the hills. I don't expect Cherry Pond to really be turning much before real turning, before the 1st of October. You are on the northern side of the White Mountains, so it's bound to be a bit earlier up that way. Down in Rhode Island, Mark Spramuli says there's spotty road side color. Now, got to remember, down in Rhode Island, pretty far south, but they are starting to see some, just a little bit of color along the roads. I don't even think it's really whole trees. It's mostly just leaves and branches. But they don't have much in the way of drought, according to Mark. And Burrillville, Gloucester, Scituate, Rhode Island are looking fairly decent at this time. This should be pretty good viewing back when we get to, probably the first, second week of October, maybe. Now, what does the week hold as of November 17th today? I don't have a crystal ball for this stuff, so if you, have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I would say drives across the Kank, Route 112, Lincoln to New Hampshire to Conway. That should be nice. I don't think it's going to be peak. In fact, I know it's not going to be peak this week. We'll see what happens next week and the week after, around the 1st. But between the 25th and the 1st, I think you're going to see some much better colors. But if you went up this weekend, the 20th and 21st of September, I think it's going to be pretty good. Route 302, Crawford Notch. That was decent back on the 7th, and I think it'll be better this weekend coming up. You could take the Cog Rail, go up Mount Washington, take the Conway train out of North Conway, and go up to Fabian's and enjoy the relaxing nature of the rides. And one thing I'm going to say, I'll say it again. There is no peak, not yet, not anywhere, yet, none. Whatever you want to say. Okay. Route 16, go up to Errol. It's a long drive, especially if you're down in Massachusetts or points south. You can also go up, if you were up in Maine already, then maybe go up to Eustis. I think they're starting to see some, beginning colors there too. Up in Greenville, it's just starting to get the first tinges. It's not going to be perfect, and unless you're really up for a long drive, Dixville Notch is always an idea as well. Other than that, I want you to have a wonderful fall foliage day and safe travels, my friends. And please subscribe to the video.